Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball, HTB. Hope you all. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. A lot to discuss here, to mull over, to talk over. It's basically my reaction to NRL Fox's best halves pairing for 2022, and they actually had it ranked from 1 to 16. So we're going to be going over the teams, and I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on them as well. No team is free from criticism or praise. That's why I look at it. But in saying that, before we get there, what do we always have to do? Hit that intro. Alright guys, so here it is, right? Obviously as fans of our teams, we probably like to rank our house pairings probably higher than they are in some cases, and probably on the odd occasion you might rank your house pairing lower than what it should be. But hey, aghast, we have NRL Fox who have done the work for us, and they've given us their view on it. And again, it's all subjective. There's no real, concrete proof that this is the number 1 or 16. But in saying that, does it really translate to this season? Don't know. But the beauty is, there's something laid before us. So I'm going to get into it, and I'll be giving guys my thoughts on each one of them. So we'll go from 1 to 16. Here we go. So NRL Fox, and again, just quickly, this is my reaction. See what happens. So NRL Fox ranked number 1, Panthers, LUAI, as well as Nathan Cleary. Sorry, I think that's, look, if I was to be quite honest, my observation of Jerome LUAI was there were patches there in the game, especially with Nathan Cleary not playing, where he, I think, underperformed. And I think he even acknowledged it himself, you see. And even times when Nathan Cleary came back after injury, I still believe that Jerome LUAI as well, there were still patches there where he wasn't at his best. Now, obviously, you're going to rank them number 1 because ultimately they did do what you got to do when you play NRL. That's win the premiership. And they did. And, well, as a pairing, obviously, you can't really talk. You can't really forget Nathan Cleary in regards to what he's done. Won a championship as well as a Clive Churchill winner as well. So this dude, he knows what he's doing. He's been around the block at such a young age too, and he's won a few Origins too. Nathan Cleary has. But looking at this halves duo personally, heading into 2022 for myself, yeah, look, it all depends on LUAI. All right, what can LUAI produce? I think Nathan Cleary to me is always going to be a solid. He's a solid base to stand on. If you want quality, if you want someone who's going to execute, if you want someone who's clutch, and even someone who's off on his off day, he can still at least deliver something. Nathan Cleary is the dude. Whereas for me, I'm looking at LUAI. But that's my thoughts there, and they've ranked them number 1. So for number 2, Fox have ranked the Storm. That is MUNSTER and HUGHES. And to be fair with you, I thought you could have gone number 1 or 2 either way with this team. Storm as well, heading into 2022. Back end of last season, you could have gone either way, the ranking here. Obviously, MUNSTER to me is probably arguably the strongest running 5'8" in the game, bar none. He's so strong for some reason. He's just oddly strong, with ball in hand. HUGHES as well has grown. His game to me has grown significantly in the last year. Leaps and bounds. Will get better. I think that loss against Penrith Panthers will probably have motivated them and lit more fire under the belly, so to speak. And if there's one team you don't want determined and hungry, that's this team right here. And I think we haven't done that. We're going to see them. We're going to see some damage. But that's who the Fox have, NRL Fox have as number 2. So for number 3, we have Manly, and that's FORAN and DCE. Look, I don't know what to think about this one. Yes, they're solid. But obviously, again, if you're looking at it as a whole, you got Kieran Foran. I love Fozza, from the North Shore, yes. But as a player, although he's got that gritty, dog mentality, and he'll give you his all, there's still that slight chance of injury prone. And on the odd occasion, well, I've seen, he can sort of be a bit reserved sometimes. Obviously, DCE is, leading the helm there. He's steering the ship. But at the same time as well, you just sort of think that on the odd occasion, I don't think those two pair up well. Every now and then, I know they've got experience and I know they've won a premiership together. I get that. I'm not trying to be too silly here. But I'm saying that sometimes from my observation, I've seen that not work too much. DCE, when he has a great game, he's a great game. I know it's going to sound cliche, but when he plays bad, it stinks. It does. Thankfully for Manly, the boys got different players around him. need I remind you of who their fullback is, who can actually sort of steer the ship if things go away. But in saying that, yeah, look, for me personally, number 3, it's a good ranking. They're definitely a top 4 team, for sure. But in terms of halves pairing, I don't know, but that's who they have as number 3. I probably would have placed them probably 4th or 5th personally. That's just me. But in saying that, heading into 2022, yeah, realistic. Number 4, we have the Eels, and we have Brown and Moses. Dylan Brown, Mitchell Moses. I think, personally, this ranking here is high. I think it's a high ranking. It's too high, actually, particularly for these guys, for what they can produce, right? Because obviously, in the NRL, you're looking for your halves, right, to produce, to do things, and especially the 2 grand final teams. You know, for example, you had contextually, if you had Cody Walker and Adam Reynolds, and then you had LUAI and Nathan Cleary, and if you sort of put Brown and them in the mix heading into next season, or even season just gone by, I think it's a bit of a kind rating. I probably would have had them a few rows down. Obviously, Brown, he has that ad-lib footy. Mitchell Moses as well has a very aggressive streak to him. He likes to play, I think anyway, very structured type footy. It's not really heads up like Dylan Brown. He likes to play that structured footy, which can work at times for the Eels. But unfortunately for them, they can cross over the line, absolutely. But they just have trouble, sort of going beyond their means, if that makes sense. So whenever there needs to be a bit of more digging in the heels, unfortunately, they do a lot of digging. There's just no stopping. But in saying that, yeah, that's who they have them ranked at number 4, Parramatta Eels. Number 5. Now, this is interesting. Obviously, this has not been tested. But heading into 2022, with Walker's capabilities and Keary's obvious back, he's got that experience of back-to-back, right? Is it something that can work well in 2022? I'm not too sure. Again, Sam Walker, right? Brilliant. And our Rookie of the Year, of course. With Keary as well, you just come to wait and see, I think. Because it's untested, I do think it's a bit of a kind rating. But in saying that, they are the Roosters, right? So even if it has not been tested, you still look at it and you're probably thinking, yeah, Luke Keary, Walker is a great combo. I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform in 2022. I do have them personally rated as a top 3 team and potentially a team that can win the premiership this year. But again, that's just my thoughts there. But there we go. Roosters at 5. With the Rabbitohs here at 6, so we have Walker and TAAFE. TAAFE, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. But that's an interesting one. Obviously, Adam Reynolds gone to the Broncos. Look, I think that's a kind rating. I get that they were the grand finalists last season. I get it. But heading into this season here, especially when you see a few names and I'm going to be naming after them, number 6, yeah, I mean, look, off Cody Walker's back, sure, off his back, you could probably put him in the top 8, top 9. But him and TAAFE, I mean, you got some pretty experienced other players. You got some other players who are experienced, who I think, could probably be a ranking higher or 2. But anyway, in saying that, with Walker and TAAFE, it's going to be interesting. I believe Elias is also in the mix as well. So as to whether this combination stays or not, I'm not too sure. But in saying that, Rabbitohs at 6. This one here is very interesting. It's the Warriors here. Ash Taylor and Shaun Johnson. Look, in hindsight, obviously, I guess if you're thinking of Ash Taylor, you're thinking of what he's done in the past. If you're looking at it from if you're looking at it onward, I'm not sure if Ash Taylor does even get the nod to play. So if, say, for example, it was CHT or Kuri Nikorima, will that then affect the ratings and have the Warriors lower than 7th? Food for thought. For me personally, again, Shaun Johnson is obviously the helm. He's going to be steering the ship. Ash Taylor will have to be fighting 2 other players as well to basically be getting that spot, to be working with Shaun Johnson. I see what they mean, though. I get it. At face value, sure, it does look and sound pretty. But again, on the field where it matters the most, what's going to really happen? With Shaun Johnson as well, you've got to cater in the health factor as well. Yeah, look, it's a bit confusion here. I'll just say that the rating is kind, especially when you factor in that CHT is probably going to be the one with Shaun Johnson. So it is what it is here. But yeah, Warriors at 7th. You have the Tigers here, at 8th, and this is very surprising. You know, you got Hastings as well as Brooks, and Hastings, just quickly for those of you who don't remember, sorry, he's actually come from the Super League. Prior to that, he was playing in Manly. Obviously, there was that little controversy between him and DCE, but Jack Hastings is back, and he's teaming up with Luke Brooks. I'm really surprised at their 8th place, considering how Luke Brooks did play last season. I think it's a very kind rating, but I'm gonna assume that they're sort of going off what Jack Hastings can produce. And to be fair with you, he played alright. He played okay in the Super League. Again, I'm not here to say Super League and NRL are the same. No, but I'm saying that, you know, hey, he's been tested, he's been tried, he's played NRL 2, he's back. Look, I think similar to the Warriors, really, you're going to be looking at this, or even the Rabbitohs, you're going to be looking at this more so examining first before you really rank them anywhere. Safest bet, though, is to probably rank them a bit lower. And again, I get it. I think it's Hastings. Brooks, look, he can do the job. But, yeah, again, just have to wait and see. But Tigers are 8th. The Raiders are 9th place. And that's Whighton, as well as Jamal Fogarty. Jamal Fogarty coming from the Titans. Look, my thoughts here personally, Fogarty played well for the Titans. I think he's actually got a bit of X factor about him. Obviously, Whighton as well. You know, he's a hard and true sort of player, particularly at 5'8" as well. I do think though that last season probably wasn't his best season. I think there were times in his game where he could have probably done more, didn't. But in saying that, it is what it is, I suppose. Learning curve, but at the same time, probably was a reflection on how Raiders went anyway. So how do they sort of turn it around? And again, for them to be ranked 9th, when you've got Whighton and Fogarty, and you have the Rabbitohs at 6th with Walker and TAAFE. Again, TAAFE being untested, truly. You know what I mean? Some names, again, should have, but hey, that's the way it is. So yeah, Raiders and a 9th. And actually, I'm actually interested to see how Whighton and Fogarty go. Fogarty, yeah, being in that, you know, that green, how does he play there? So it'll be interesting to see. All right, so at 10th, we have the Illawarra Dragons with AMONE and Ben Hunt. I can't really comment too much on this because AMONE, though he did play a few games, I still think he's untested. I understand that with Corey Norman being out, he is now, quote-unquote, you know, the driver, so to speak. Obviously, you got Ben Hunt there for the experience, you know, Origin, NRL experience, all that jazz there. He's been there, he's done it, you know, Ben Hunt. But in saying that, how will they go? I think because to me this is so untested personally. I wouldn't even rank them lower. And again, no offense to Dragon fans either, but I just would have ranked you guys lower because again, it's just untested. I'm unsure. But in saying that, it does sort of make sense when you think about Ben Hunt and his obvious, you know, experience. AMONE did have a little bit of a go there. I think he is the go-to guy as well for them heading to the future. So Dragons at 10th. At 11th, they had the Sharks, and this is interesting too. You got Matty Moylan and Nico Hynes. Obviously, Nico Hynes, a very hot signing from the Melbourne Storm. Matty Moylan, to me, has the experience, obviously. He's a true and tested player. But at the same time as well, unfortunately, injury-prone. Will he really get the nod ahead of players like Trindle or even Tej Wilton, who has played a bit in halves, I believe? Not too sure. What do they do when Matty Moylan can't play? You know what I mean? So again, being ranked 11th, sure, but if they had Trindle there, would they have been ranked higher? Who knows? But I know that Nico Hynes is definitely under... Look, you sign someone like Nico Hynes on the money he's on, it's because you believe he can do something, right? You don't sign someone like him with that money and just sort of accept him for who he is, particularly if it's going to be blasé play. No, it's not the case. You've signed him to obviously try and have a crack at this, so you're going to expect a lot from him. Nico Hynes, for me personally, in terms of halves pairings, is going to be one player I'm going to be definitely focusing on as well heading into this year. I'm going to be interested to see how he goes, especially as myself as I have the Sharks ranked as a top 14. So we'll have to see how that one goes there. But yeah, Sharks ranked at 11th. The Broncos. Now this one's interesting. Albert Kelly and Adam Reynolds, the double A's. Albert Kelly didn't play too bad, I think. I thought Albert Kelly was superb, actually. I think he was all right. Like, considering what he gave you, I thought he was all right. You know, and he did well to earn that contract. I didn't think he played too bad overall, as you know, as a 5'8". Adam Reynolds obviously comes from the Rabbitohs. Well documented. Well decorated career as well, should I say. He comes with the experience, that grit, and obviously, I suppose maybe a bit of a chip on the shoulder. Perhaps, potentially. You know? So we've got someone who is coming in hungry, ready to bust, should I say. Ready to go at it, hammer and tongs. To be ranked 12th, though, when you got the Rabbitohs at 6th, or even the Warriors at 7th, or even the Tigers at 8th, it's a big call. That's all I'm going to say. The Broncos, to me, if you're talking just solely halves pairings, and you got a name like Adam Reynolds, so surely that name carries you at least 4 rankings up. Just on its own. Adam Reynolds on his own should at least climb up 4 rankings. You know, then you sort of work your way from there, depending on who your halves combo is. I am looking forward to 2022, regarding the Broncos especially. How's Adam Reynolds going to respond? Again, similar to Nico Hynes, you sign him because you want to win. It's more like a top 8 now situation. It's arguably a win now situation. And if it's not, then it has to be damn near it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, Broncos at 12th. What are your thoughts on that? I think that's a bit controversial there. Comments below. All right, number 13, we're nearly there, guys. Titans. We got the Titans there, and you have Brimson and Sexton. So AJ Brimson and Sexton as well. Sexton played a few good games. Yeah, I get it. He did well enough to actually push, I believe, Ash Taylor out, and obviously Brimson now in the halves position because of someone called Jaden Campbell, who's been an absolute blast playing fullback for the Titans. Absolutely smashed the Warriors as well, basically. But yeah, back to Brimson and Sexton. Look, this is going to be an interesting one. They don't have, like Brimson is a fast player, right? So he's going to be very much a perhaps try to break the line type player. Sexton plays that kicking game, so he's more the the steady the ship thing. So how will that sort of work? Brimson as well plays eyes up footy, right? And I think he's probably one of the best to do it, particularly playing from fullback as well. I think that experience is going to be very good and probably needed. But it's going to be interesting to see how they gel. How's that chemistry going to go? Particularly with Sexton, who again plays that, I think, structured footy. Good kicks, good passes. But you got Brimson, wild and free. So I have to wait and see. Number 14 here, we have the Bulldogs. And we have Burton and Averillo. Burton and Averillo. Obviously, Burton, coming from the Penrith Panthers. Surprise, surprise, ranked number 1. Winning the premiership there. Averillo, Averillo to me is still young. Obviously has played a few games, a few seasons. This will be interesting. It could go either way. I mean, when you again sign Burton, you're signing him for the experience because he has played in the halves. He was okay. I think it's the best way to summate it. He was okay. Is it learning experiences? Absolutely it is. Again, we'll just have to wait and see there with Burton. But my thoughts overall on this combination and the ranking, it's about right. But is this the one here with the low risk, high reward? I think it is. This one here could definitely shoot up for sure. But I'll have to wait and see. Again, Burton is the carrier of the ship here for the Bulldogs. Is it going to be Averillo or is it going to be Flanagan? Again, unsure. But options are good. 14th place, Bulldogs. For 15, we have the Cowboys. Drinkwater and Townsend. There's not too much to say here. Obviously, Townsend being the marquee signing. Another player who, in my opinion, is injury prone. He can give you the goods. He can give you the kicking game. He can give you a game that's focused. I think he's got decent IQ as well in the rugby league field. But again, the injury prone and yeah, again, just looking at it from an offensive point of view, much like Drinkwater, how will they gel? I'm not too sure. Is 15th the right ranking? Yeah, probably, because again, much like a few of these teams, a few of these names, you're unsure. But again, someone like Townsend, on his name alone, I think deserves to be a few rankings higher, at least 3 to 4 spots higher. 3. But I'm saying that they've got them at second to last, and that is the Cowboys there. But again, Drinkwater, Townsend. Again, you've got other halves too, mind you, who may potentially be taking over Townsend. Townsend may be too injured to play. I don't know. But again, yeah, there you go. Cowboys at 15th. And at 16th, you have the Newcastle Knights, and that is Clifford as well as Adam Clune. That's Jake Clifford and Adam Clune. Again, Clifford coming over from the Cowboys midway through the season last year. Adam Clune from Manly. Look, I don't really have too much to say here. I think he's just a player who does the job. Of course, everyone can improve. You know, Adam CLUNE as well. Heading into this team, I think he's going to have more of his time with the ball. How that's going to translate, I'm not too sure. I really don't know. So for me personally, I'm not going to comment like I know how this is going to work for the Knights, for your team, guys, for you Knight fans out there. But I do know that in terms of, you know, unknown and stuff, it's probably correct. Again, this is not based on your whole team's performance. Predictions there, it's just your HUGHES rankings. But yeah, that is it, guys. Those are my thoughts there. What are your thoughts? Let me know, comment section down below. But yeah, I guess for me, some of the surprising ratings were the Warriors being 7th. Thought it was a bit too kind. Rabbitohs as well, 6th. Probably a bit too kind there. Broncos, that was a harsh one at 12th. Surely you could move them up a few more. Another one as well for me was probably Raiders. And also, surprisingly, was probably the Eels, who I think were probably a bit too high too. But I think besides that, yeah, you know, there or thereabouts. You know, you can't really complain there. But in saying that, guys, those are my thoughts there on my reaction to NRL Fox's, you know, best halves pairing for 2022. All I can say though is that there's obviously some good quality halves, and there's obviously a lot of teams with bad halves, right? Are we going to sort of see the rich get rich and the poor get poor? Possibly. But in saying that, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, hey, for all we know, the Cowboys or the Knights could probably prove us all wrong and absolutely whip everyone's butts, right? Panthers or the Storm or Manly could even fall down below. Who knows? But that's a bit about rugby league. Just have to wait and see. It's been my thoughts there, guys. My reaction. Again, tell me what you think. Take it easy. Be well. Be cool. And hey, if you're playing the halves, what do you have to do? What's the obvious thing you got to do? Hold the ball. Take it easy, guys. See you guys next time.